Hello everyone, Electrical Squid here. So today I'm going to be talking about rotations in Splatoon. We all know how this system works. Maps and modes change every few hours. It's a unique idea and not really something we've seen in any other game. But I'm going to be honest, I actually think this is a really bad idea for a game, and I'm going to talk about why and what Splatoon 3 can do differently. So without further ado, let's get into it. In my opinion, players should be able to play whatever maps and modes they want to play whenever they want. But with rotations, they're stuck playing the same one mode and two maps for several hours. This would be even more of a problem in Splatoon 1 since each rotation lasts 4 whole hours. They did narrow it down to 2 hours in Splatoon 2, but that's still a fairly long time. This can cause burnout. It's very possible for players to get tired of playing the same maps and mode after a while, and they will want to play something different, but will have to wait for the next rotation. For example, if they were playing ranked, sure, they could play Turf War, League Battle, Private Battles, or Salmon Run, but the same problem can happen with those modes, except for PBs of course. Plus, competitive players are usually not a big fan of Turf or Salmon, as they prefer the more fast-paced modes in ranked. Finding people to play League and PBs with can be difficult as well. And sometimes casual players don't like to play ranked, so that leaves them with only 2 modes, one of which is sometimes not available to play. Yeah, let's talk about Salmon Run for a minute. Seriously, Nintendo, why on earth would you make your brand new and most standout mode in Splatoon 2 closed for a certain period of time? Sure, it may be open for longer than it is closed, but still, what is the point of this? Whenever the mode is closed, you're practically just saying no to anyone who wants to play it. This is honestly one of the most baffling decisions you have ever made in any game. Why can't you just leave it open the whole time and have bonus capsules be the only thing that rotate? And it doesn't even end there. Salmon Run rotations only contain 1 map and 4 random weapons for the entire time it is open. Yeah, people totally aren't gonna get tired of that after a while, and it can be annoying for players to be forced to use a weapon they don't like for a wave, or 2, or sometimes even all 3. Obviously, I'm not saying Salmon Run is a bad mode, but man, Nintendo really dropped the ball with how they treated it. Anyway, the next problem is when rotations are just straight up bad. It's not uncommon that they will contain maps that players dislike, and it's even worse when players don't like playing the current mode on those maps. Like whenever Splat Zones on Camp Triggerfish is on, I just don't play it. I cannot begin to tell you how many times this has happened. I would want to hop on Splatoon, and then I check the rotations and just end up not playing because I don't like the maps that are on. And it would be even more annoying when good rotations happen at times I can't even play the game. I've seen a lot of other players complain about this too. Bad rotations can also make choosing what weapon to play a difficult decision. Certain weapons are good on some maps and not as good on others. The worst case scenario is when a rotation contains a map that a weapon performs well on and struggles on the other. Take this rotation for example. My favorite weapon is 10 attack Splatter Shot, a short range weapon. This weapon can do perfectly well on Mako Mart because it's nice and open to move around on, and has some decent flanking spots. On the other hand, I don't like playing this weapon on Port Mackerel because it's incredibly cramped and linear, making it difficult for me to approach the enemy. More often than not, when I try to approach on a skinny map like this, I end up getting shut down by longer ranged weapons and will have to rely strictly on my sub and special to try and take them out. I have no control over what map I can play, so I'll have to adapt to a certain playstyle I'm not used to or don't like whenever I get the inferior map. Or I'll have to use a weapon that can do well on both maps instead of playing whatever weapon I want. Basically, rotations just allow very little freedom to what the player can play, whether it's maps, modes, or even weapons, and they can really make the game feel tiring. Splatoon 3 is going to be a good opportunity to fix these problems. I know the game is just under 2 months away now, so I shouldn't get my hopes up too much. But for the sake of this video, here is how I would fix rotations. For one, just get rid of rotations altogether. Again, players should be able to play whatever they want, whenever they want. So, All modes should be available to play at all times. Next, public lobbies should work in similar fashion to private battles, except when the lobby fills up, the game will allow players to vote for one of a certain number of maps, like 3 or 4. The maps available to vote for will be different for each match. Once all the players vote, the game will choose the map with the most votes. Either that, or the game will randomly choose a specific player's vote, similar to Mario Kart 8. Once a map has been decided, players will be put onto teams and will be given 30 seconds to choose their weapons and gear accordingly. This would also be a good way to prevent bad weapon compositions from happening. Then the match would play out as normal. Having a voting system like this would also be a good way to give the developers an idea of what maps players like and don't like, and they would be able to make improvements to the maps that are disliked. And if they really want to keep rotations, then there should be at least 3 maps available, and they should rotate every 30 minutes, if not every hour. They shouldn't last too long, just so it's way less likely for players to burn out, and it will allow them to play different maps and modes more frequently. The lobbies will still function like I mentioned earlier. And even if someone doesn't like the maps that are on still, a good way to fix this is to make private battles more accessible. No more being able to join only through friends. Give PBs a room code that can be used to join it, or hell, even give them an option to be made public so that any player can see them, like battle arenas in Smash Ultimate, or literally any other online multiplayer game. As for Salmon Run Next Wave, don't limit the maps to 1. Again, when the lobby fills up, there will be 3 or 4 maps available to vote for, and the rest is simple. Also, let players choose what weapons they want to play. Private battles should also be a thing for Salmon Run, where the hosts can choose the map themselves, and even the number of waves. Yeah, I'm hoping more than 3 waves will be a thing in Salmon Runs for Splatoon 3. So yeah, I think I've made it clear that I do not like rotations at all, and I think a lot of people can agree with that. I would much prefer having more freedom with what I can play, and I really hope Splatoon 3 follows through with that, but we'll have to wait and see. And to be honest, regardless of if rotations remain the same, which I hope isn't the case, or are improved, or they're replaced with something better, Splatoon 3 is still looking like it's going to be the best game in the franchise, and I'm dying to play it on September 9th. Anyway, I really hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you want to see more discussion videos like this in the future, please let me know in the comments. And if you're considering unsubscribing, be sure to check the bell icon so you never miss a new video. And if you want to support me even more, be sure to check the links in the description. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys on the next video. Peace!